This footage, courtesy of NFL Game Pass. Ravens score on a Sammy Watkins touchdown pass. They trail 20-19, and they decide to go for the 2-point conversion. On brand for the Ravens. They're known for doing this in 3rd and short, 4th and short scenarios, saying, hey, let's go for it. Let's go for it. But it was Lamar Jackson's pass just beyond the outstretched arms of Mark Andrews. And we're going to pull up the clip now here, Ike. What did you see on this play? We're going to break this down. It was what I thought was a brilliant play designed by John Harbaugh, Greg Roman and company with the Ravens. But what did you see here, Ike?
Man, first of all, I agree with you. I thought it was a heck of a play call, one. And, Coach Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, man, them two, they just always on the same page. And he really do trust and have a lot of confidence during crunch time for Lamar Jackson, and he believes in him 100%. Now, on this play, if you just look up top, Mark, you know how I feel. And you play football, you play a little cornerback back in your day. It's something called press coverage. So you got the two between the corner and the safety up top, man. I felt like one have to be in press coverage. And the reason why I do like press coverage, it alters routes. And when I used to play, when I used to get in press coverage, for me, in my mind, you're only going to give me two routes. You're either going to give me a fade or you're going to give me a slant. So basically, I'm just trying to take everything out the wide receiver route tree and help myself knowing the two routes that can possibly come. So I felt like one of the guys up top should have been press coverage to knock everything off. We used to call it high-low. I mean, if you want to press the guy on the ball, even though you can press him on the ball, but you got the guy sitting in the slot. So that's just what it is. You always want to disrupt the timing, so say, between the receivers and the quarterback. Now at the bottom, I understand Sutton is just sitting outside. He has body position by Minkah Fitzpatrick. So I understand that part. I don't want him pressing because if he press, man, Lamar can just throw a fade to the back of the pylon, sitting at that position. So I get why he's off right now. Now, on this play, my personal opinion, I think they're playing man coverage. And for me, with that draw and this fake, I think Minkah Fitzpatrick got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. His man is Mark Andrews, you know what I'm saying? But between that draw fake, he kind of bit the cheese, so say. And just like Coach LeBeau said, man, your eyes can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Luckily for Minkah, the play wound up being what it was. But if you just look at T.J. Watt, man, this guy has been, when he's played 16 and a half, sacks in 10 games, man, he has a case. He just hasn't been consistent for the defensive player of the year. Now, he's playing three guys. If you just look at it, and I might not look at it. So you got Mark Andrews coming his way. He's playing the draw, and he's also playing Lamar. Now, you got a guy, it's 3-on-1, and he's going to wind up making this play. Now, if we can just run this play, he's going to alter Lamar Jackson and make him step up in the pocket, and he can't deliver an accurate pass. But I think from the get-go, if Minkah Fitzpatrick had his eyes on the ball, that would have been – I had his eyes on this man, which is Mark Andrews. T.J. Watt would have sacked him regardless. But T.J. Watt, man, every time you're looking for a play, every time you need a play, he's always there making a play.
Yeah, what I would say, too, is when Andrews comes across the formation – against a pocket passer quarterback, you might want to have your end chip the tight end Andrews in this circumstance before he can just run free into the flat. But if Watt were to have done that and just stuck a shoulder in Andrews, you're giving up the corner to Lamar Jackson, and he's going to get that all day and twice on Sunday. He's the fastest quarterback in the league. So the split-second reaction Watt makes on this play is unbelievable because coming across the formation, like you said, this is Minkah Fitzpatrick's man. When I first watched this, Ike, at first I was like, well, wait a second. Is Andrews getting passed off to Devin Bush when he goes in motion? But it sounds like it was Minkah and you can understand why. Minkah Fitzpatrick wants to stop the run if Jackson does, in fact, give the ball to the running back, which, again, goes back to my original point. This was a beautifully designed play. The Ravens just didn't execute.
Man, if you look at this end zone copy right here, it just showed T.J. Watt did something coaches try to teach their defensive ends all the time when you got a guy like a Lamar Jackson in a way he can scramble and cause havoc and make yards running. He took his top field shoulder. So Lamar wasn't able to loop and come around or run a boot. He had to step up. Now, TJ already knew that he had guys sitting in the middle that's going to come stepping up. So if you look at it right here, man, probably from the side angle, you can see TJ Watt, man, taking the upfield shoulder, making Lamar Jackson step up into the line of fire.
And that's the old slogan that you always tell me too, Ike. You lose contain, you lose the game. And against Jackson too, rolling out to his throwing hand as well. I mean, he's won an MVP trophy on his ability to do that. And it says, hey, you've got to be able to make a play when it counts. And sometimes rather lucky than good, Ike. The Steelers able to get the stop. And we said this before the start of the podcast too, Ike, and this was a theme throughout football all this weekend, college, pro, what have you, game of inches. And that's the difference between the Steelers keeping their season alive for at least one more week. And really, if they lose this game, if Andrews gets that 2-point conversion, good luck making the playoffs if Pittsburgh would have gone on and lost this game. Yeah,
one game at a time. That's how Pittsburgh got to look at it. Really, every game for Pittsburgh is a Super Bowl game at this point in time. They're in the hunt. Winning this game against the Baltimore Ravens definitely kept them in the hunt. But right now, every game, and they got a game coming up Thursday. We'll talk about that later. But every game for the Pittsburgh Steelers is a Super Bowl.